This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's keep it moving here and talk about somebody else coming in. Tyler Black is going to sign with WWE and report to FCW. Of course, later we're going to go on to know him as Seth Rollins. Did you ever frequent FCW? Was that ever part of your responsibilities to go check on the talent and see how it was going? Maybe speak to a group or hold a class or something like that?
Yeah. In that time, we were going down periodically every 3 months, 6 or 8 weeks or 3 months, and pretty much analyzing their talent. Seth stayed under my radar for a while, and I don't know why. I don't know what the timing was. I don't remember exactly when I was there and when he was or when he wasn't. But boy, once he did, everybody said, "Hey, watch this guy." And once they pulled him up, man, he took off. I could see what everybody was talking about. That's for sure.
The original incarnation of NXT is renewed for a 3rd season, and it's announced as an all women's cast. Of course, this is before NXT has its own show and is almost ran like its own little promotion. It's almost like a modern version of Tough Enough, where it's a segment on TV. What'd you think of NXT being a part of the regular programming?
As we've seen, you don't get that TV time spread around nearly enough between the guys that are already pulled up and the guys that are up that are going to be in your towns that are either going to be, doing favors for other guys or being featured or going to get a rocket strapped to their butt or whatever the case may be. That time needs to go to the guys that are already up. To just randomly bring a guy up that you're going to have for just one segment and then you may not see him again, it seems a little foolish unless you have huge plans for that person.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson and you're listening to Arn. And of course we couldn't do it without the man of the hour, the host of the show. And of course the founder of the Four Horsemen, the Hall of Famer himself, AA Arn Anderson. Arn, how are you, man?
As always, I'm doing well. No complaints.
Well, glad to hear that. No complaints for me either. We're getting ready to kick off a fun show today. Night of the Champions 2010. We've had fun sort of reliving 2010 and reliving 2015. Today will be no different. Night of the Champions here coming your way. And there's a lot going on here. Of course, we're on the heels of SummerSlam 2010. We're headed towards Bragging Rights 2010 and right smack dab in the middle. Here we are. We should remind you, coming off SummerSlam, there was Team WWE led by John Cena, and they defeated Team Nexus led by Wade Barrett. It was a 7-on-7 elimination match. Kane wound up defending his world title over Rey Mysterio. Sheamus would retain his WWE title by DQ over Randy Orton, and Big Show would defeat CM Punk. Of course, that was a handicap match with Big Show on one side, CM Punk, Joey Mercury, and Luke Gallows. Before we get into this pay-per-view, Night of the Champions, let's talk about some news and notes. Coming off that SummerSlam show, we've got Nexus and Cena in a promo duel off. You've got the Nexus loss to WWE at SummerSlam. Did you ever imagine that they would have fizzled that thing as quickly as they did? I think we've talked about it before, and I think you agree that most fans think that Nexus still had a lot of steam and we cut their legs out from under them a little bit at SummerSlam.
Absolutely. Had a lot of steam left. Those guys were just getting really hot and the odds were so in their favor. You could have really ran for that for another year at least.
Alex Riley's highlighted with a promo with The Miz about Bryan. What do you think about Alex Riley? We haven't spent a lot of time talking about him, but I'm curious as to your take as to why he didn't become a bigger star. It felt like he had the right look. His work seemed fine, but that's from me, my perspective as a fan. You knew him better than I did. What can you tell us about Alex Riley?
Well, I think Alex had, a good look and I think his work was okay. He seemed to gel well when they put him with The Miz, but there's a famous story that, he was offered some help from John Cena and seemed less than enthused or interested, which would have immediately made its way back to the to the locker room and to the office, and I'm sure it was around that time that his water got cut off.
I love that phrase. His water got cut off.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.